Today we're back on another video. Today we're reacting to another video of the Food Theorist. Last time, I think we reacted to the what was it? The Chuck E. Cheese pizza. The little what was that? I don't even remember what it was called. The little scandal that they had going on. I think we got to the bottom of that. I'm not sure. I don't really care about that because I don't even eat Chuck E. Cheese, so it's like fuck it. I don't eat their pizza. I don't eat none of that shit from there. I wonder if they got wings though. I'd probably try that shit, but yeah. That shit might end up being like deer knuckles or some shit. You just don't know. But yeah. Today we reacted to food theory. Spicy food can actually kill you. Now me, I actually like spicy food. I've liked spicy food since I was like, I don't know how old. It's just I like the feeling of like just that little like I don't even know how to explain it to you, but like when stuff is spicy, like I feel like food is really plain if there's nothing spicy on it. I used to eat hot sauce on everything. I remember I also put them on like beans before. I know them little beans that you have with the hot dogs and shit. I don't even remember what that shit called, bro. I put that shit on there before. That shit was nasty as hell. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I ate it, don't get me wrong, but I realized it was nasty as hell, and I never had it again after that because it was like fuck it. I used to have hot sauce on everything. I even drunk a whole bottle of hot sauce before when I was like in kindergarten or something like that. But yeah, and somebody caught me doing that shit too. But yeah. No further ado, we just gonna get to the video. I ain't even gonna lie. I feel like this is very interesting. This is very, and this could be very informational for me. I'm not even gonna lie, cause yeah, maybe I could add a couple years back onto my life, without even knowing it. After watching this, but yeah, let's go.
So I'm getting ready for our annual spicy food taste test over here when I run across this video of two guys eating a hot pepper and having this reaction.
Damn. Oh, bad. White nigga turn around, you know that's bad.
And then I start seeing comments like this.
Guy who eats extremely hot things for a living. Dying. Ed ascends to nirvana.
Doug dying and Ed just dancing in the background killed me.
Man, that guy was dying.
Which prompts me to ask, wait, are they really dying? Like, there's gotta come a limit to spiciness, right? I've gone on record to say that these channels are killing me, but are they like, killing me? Killing me? Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the only show that's spiced to kill. Oh boy. I've done a few spicy food episodes at this point. It looks like my puns aren't as hot as they used to be. Yeah, if you've watched us since the beginning of this channel, you'll know that Food Theory is no stranger to the Spicy Food Challenge, which I've been doing for years now in a vain attempt to get an invitation on the Hot Ones, the internet's interview show where the wings are definitely spicier than the questions at this point.
I've read that you like to visit golf courses. Do you have any general swing tips for just hopeless duffers like myself?
So far, my efforts have been ignored. But if I ever do make it onto the show, my mouth is just going to be so numb from years of hot sauce training that I won't even be able to answer the questions. Anyway, I'm not letting small details like permanent nerve damage stop me. In fact, I like to think that Sean Evans is just kind of playing hard to get. Then I remember that to do that, he has to know who I am to begin with. Anyway, here's hoping that a few more Spice episodes will get hashtag MattPat the Hot One on his radar. That said, today is all serious, no games. No more cutesy, little eating chicken wings and then crying on camera for an hour.
Oh god, it's just charcoal. Like ashes in my mouth.
Why won't it stop? Or at least that one's coming, but it's not today's episode.
Who knows, we can make this a yearly thing.
Nope.
We can make
I wonder what limited hot
Today
sauce
is
I
about a
actually
simple
survive,
thing
bro.
known as life and death. You see, spicy food is more than an interesting part of food culture, and it's way more than some restaurant challenges where you eat some hot wings and get yourself a free t-shirt. No, the world of spicy food is big business these days, and it's getting spicier by the minute. Dangerously spicy. If you consider yourself to be a chili head, the real name for a spicy food enthusiast, then you've probably heard of the Carolina Reaper, which has been known as the world's hottest pepper since its debut in 2012 and has been tested by tons of YouTubers over the past several years. Everyone from Guinness World Records to Epicurious, Try Guys, Rhett and Link, all the major reaction channels, everyone has nibbled, dabbed, and chopped their way through this thing so you don't have to. Unfortunately for all those guys...
Wait, so they just now find out they can eat that or something?
Carolina Reaper has already been dethroned after less than 10 years.
That's kind of recently, to be real with you. Because if we being real, like, most of the peppers that they used to have back in the day, bro, I'm pretty sure they still relevant today. So that's probably a new one if they say in 2012 is when everybody wanted to come out with that or whatever. I don't know, but
in its #1 spot. While the new upstarts aren't official in terms of the Guinness Book of World Records, that's only because they're not commercially available yet. But even without being on your grocery store shelves, they've been tested privately, and they've been shown to contain spice levels that put the Carolina Reaper to shame. Yeah, it's time to kick all those old videos off your spicy pepper playlist, friends, because the Apollo Pepper and Pepper X are now the new players in town. Well, the Carolina Reaper measures in at an eye-watering 1.5 million Scoville heat units, the measurement of how spicy a chili pepper is. The Apollo Pepper is reportedly averaging 2 to 3 million SHUs. Pepper X, that puppy is practically curdling your blood at 3.18 million Scoville. For reference, the already spicy jalapeno measures in at a measly 2,000 to 8,000 Scoville, barely registering next to these spicy beasts. If you haven't heard of either
that one
the
kill
Apollo or Pepper X,
That one?
you wouldn't sweat it, unless you're supposed to be eating one. These peppers are special cultivars, or hybrid peppers that are made by combining the hottest peppers in the world with,
I'ma
you
keep
guessed
being, bro.
it,
This sounds
other
like a word,
hottest
yo.
peppers in the world. Designer peppers, so hot right now. Currently, you can try the Apollo pepper exclusively in the Last Dab Apollo sauce. Boy, do people have some serious reactions to that stuff.
Oh, the hiccups are gnarly. Oh my god, this is
But wait, there's more. As if the Apollo and Pepper X weren't somehow already complete overkill, I recently came across food YouTuber Josh Weissman's TikTok titled Spiciest Hot Sauce of All Time, where he's taken it to a completely different level. He creates something he calls Mad Dog 357 Plutonium number 9. By the math, this thing is hot, clocking in at the absolutely mind-melting 9 million Scoville units. For comparison, Hot Ones produces its own hot sauce that it saves for the end of every episode at 2.5 million Scoville, around the same spice level as the Apollo Pepper. Let me tell you, that one is more than enough for me. Okay. It won't stop, Steph! It won't stop! Drinking just a couple dabs took me almost 15 minutes to recover. And the last dab is supposedly less than a third of the 9 million SHUs promised by the Mad Dog 357 Plutonium number 9. So
What?
why am I telling you about all these millions of SHU pepper sauces instead of just sitting down in my basement, eating them and weeping for your enjoyment? Well, you see, before I do any of that, I need to know what I'm getting myself into. This game of one-upsmanship with hot peppers just keeps escalating, and it's moving faster than Guinness or any other reasonably regulated group of people can keep up with. Which leads me to wonder, is
I
all
think
this
it
dangerous?
gets to a point where the hot sauces that y'all use will go to literal poison, bro. I'm being honest. 9 mil. Hell nah, man. I don't
Is
even
there a
think a
point where we
human
should
being can handle
definitely
that.
not be making hot peppers any hotter? And taking to its most extreme, is there a world where spicy food can kill you? At face value, this seems kind of like a ridiculous question to ask. Then again, last week I showed you that the literal lemonade from Panera could kill you if it drank too much of it. If you haven't seen that episode, you need to see that episode. So forgive me when someone comes at me and says that they've cultivated some mutant pepper in their basement, and oh, by the way, it's not publicly marketed or labeled, and also, I'm not even gonna show you what it looks like. Yeah, I feel like I'm entitled to ask a few questions. To figure out whether spicy peppers can kill us, we first have to get a better understanding of what's in them. As loyal food theory viewers know, the spicy part of spicy peppers all comes from the inside, where the potent capsaicin molecule is housed inside these little seedy pods. We know that chemically, capsaicin is responsible for all the spiciness, and we've covered on previous episodes that the spicy feeling happens when capsaicin activates the pain receptors on your tongue, making your brain think that your mouth is literally on fire. It's all pretty straightforward, and we've seen Steph and I suffer through proving that hypothesis many times over at this point. But even knowing all of that, we can actually go a layer deeper. What exactly is capsaicin? Well, as a molecule, it falls into a category that might surprise you. It's a neurotoxin. That's right, the stuff that we're packing our faces with irreversibly damages cells in our brain. It is toxic to your nerves, hence the name neurotoxin. Now, obviously, there are some missing links here, right? For one thing, people
Wait a
always-
fucking minute. So you're telling me... Is that why I'm a dumbass? Oh, man. Yo, we might actually have found something, like, worse than weed, bro. So you mean to tell me the whole time I've been doing that... Wait. So the whole time I've been drinking hot sauce when I was a kid, or using it, whole time I was just making myself stupider. Y'all heard what he just said, bro. Look, bro, let's hear that again. Let's hear that again, bro.
in our brain. It is toxic to your nerves, hence the name neurotoxin. Now, obviously, there are some missing links here, right? For one thing, people all over the
But
world
we gotta
are
hear what...
toxic to your nerves, hence the name category that might surprise you. It's a neurotoxin. That's right, the stuff that we're packing our faces with irreversibly damages cells in our brain. It is toxic
Y'all
to
heard
your
that irreversibly damages cells in our brain. So if you dumb as shit, you like spicy food, bro. You know what that mean? You a dumbass.
nerves, hence the name neurotoxin.
Oh,
now,
man.
obviously, there are some
fucked
missing links
yourself
here,
over.
right? For one thing,
I
people
fucked
all over
myself
the
over,
world
man.
are eating spicy food from an early age and throughout their lives. Presumably, they're not losing a ton of brain cells along the way. How are we eating something that's specifically labeled as a neurotoxin, but also something labeled by the FDA as GRAS, or generally regarded as safe? Well, to understand the real story
Bro,
behind
you
capsaicin,
gotta understand is you can't really trust the FDA, bro. They a part of the CIA, my nigga. They definitely is. They definitely do work with them niggas. They will literally probably FDA approve dirty ass water, bro. Or water that got a whole bunch of bullshit in it. They will do that, bro.
you have to look at something called its pharmacology, not its pharmacy.
Listen,
Important
I
difference.
would never really trust the FDA, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. Is they all they doing is basically approving food that is actually bad but not too bad. So you basically, how do I even explain this? They basically approving food that's bad, but it's not bad enough for you to not be alive. You know what I mean? So it's like you're not really gonna be able to tell in your health if this shit is fucking with you, cause it's not really gonna fuck with you for real. But it's gonna be unhealthy. Don't get me wrong, right? Or it could be something wrong with it. But the FDA approved it because it's good enough, but it's bad enough to the point where you ain't gonna die, but it might slowly reduce years off your life, bro. I'm just saying, they will dead ass FDA approved poison, bro. Or dirty
It
ass
doesn't have
water.
anything to do with someone dishing up pills behind a drugstore counter. A substance's pharmacology just means all the different ways it interacts with your body, as well as how it's broken down in your system. There are lots of ways for something to get into your body, and it turns out that capsaicin is applied to the human body in almost every way possible, and it's going to do something different depending on the way that it enters. Starting on the outside, capsaicin's in all kinds of stuff that you've probably been putting on your body for years. Lots of muscle rubs, like the 2000s It Lotion Tiger Balm, favorites of gym goers, Icy Hot, and the favorite of retirees, Bengay. Capsaicin is in all of these creams. It's the stuff that makes the skin feel warm to relax away muscle pain. Because it's neurotoxin, it's also used to dull nerve pain caused by a whole range of diseases and injuries. It works by blocking signals from your peripheral neurons, keeping you from feeling the pain in the first place. It would be extremely difficult to overdose topical capsaicin. It's used by millions of people every day, and most creams allow you to use them multiple times a day without any issue. And while capsaicin is busy dulling the pain on the outside of your body, it's definitely not doing the same thing in your mouth. When it comes to how capsaicin works orally, going through your mouth instead of your skin, the burn you feel comes from the activation of TRPV1 receptors on your tongue, like we've talked about before. This activates a pain pathway in your body. After the pain goes away, there's actually a second downstream effect, where the relief you feel from the burning going away releases endorphins in your brain, making you feel alert and happier, kind of like the refreshed feeling that you get after exercise. Your body thinks that you were just feeling the burn in your muscles, but you were actually just feeling the burn in your face. So, is there a point where you can eat so much that it kills you? There have been a ton of studies done on ingesting capsaicin, even large amounts of the stuff, and in almost every case, your body actually metabolizes the molecule too fast for it to cause real damage, at least at anything like a regular dose. The half-life of capsaicin in mammals is very short, and your liver does a pretty fantastic job of breaking it down into completely neutral byproducts, at least in most people. Or, let me clarify, in most adults. There are a number of documented cases of people developing major side effects from hot pepper ingestion once you get to the level of the very hot peppers, where your body suddenly doesn't have enough time to metabolize it all because there's just too much of the stuff there. Side effects can range from dehydration to seizures to one man who was hospitalized for days after something called a thunderclap headache, where capsaicin caused the blood vessels in his body to constrict, cutting off most of the blood flow to his brain. In one extremely tragic case, a 2-year-old girl died of a seizure after being fed too much capsaicin for her body to metabolize. So shockingly, at the end of the day, the answer to what started out as kind of a ridiculous question is kinda yes. These
No,
reactions we see where people are
it's a complete yes, my nigga. It's a
retching,
complete
coughing,
yes.
turning red or gasping for air
What you
after
mean?
eating a
If it's
bunch of
killing,
Carolina
if it kill one person, nigga, that's a yes, bro. It's possible.
vapors, we see
It
them as
says
funny because,
90%
yeah, of
chance,
course
bro.
they are. These people are eating these peppers voluntarily. But these extreme reactions are happening because you're putting something in your body that your body needs to get rid of as fast as it can. Because it's literally a toxin. In extreme cases, you can manage to injure yourself. And if you're a very young person or you have underlying conditions, there's a real chance that you can end up in a hospital or even die. And notice that I say in extreme
Damn,
cases.
I can't even eat fucking hot food no more. That's what this just told me. Wait, so we basically putting poison on our food. We basically putting poison on our food, bro. That's so crazy. I don't know how to feel about that. And another thing too, let me see this as well. Listen, y'all. Let me see what God says about spicy food, bro. Wait, so what the fuck am I gonna like search up? Wait. Oh, alright. So there are benefits of spicy food, no bullshit. But I was just about to say, because I was thinking, like, are we really supposed to be eating this shit? Like,
Which is
I know
like,
it
yeah,
grows
if I
out
eat
of
like
the earth and
100
shit, and this is basically, like, given to us, but, like, are we really supposed to be eating that shit? That's how I was
peppers,
like,
I'm gonna make myself sick.
'Cause what
And
if
I've had
it's
to
really
really
not for
break a
us?
new ground on that one. But the question is, if we're constantly creating more and more potent peppers, there's a chance that we start to approach those extreme cases more and more often. What if it doesn't take 100 peppers, it just takes one pepper that's 100 times stronger? We're going from the thousands of Scovilles with normal peppers into the millions with some of these hybrid breeds, which is a 10,000x increase in spice concentration. At what point are people essentially poisoning themselves in the name of spicy food
I
doubt?
said this. Y'all will literally go to poison. Literally.
For an extra million views. They think that they're ingesting a substance that's safe, but they're not really thinking about whether there's an upper limit because heck, why would there be? The FDA has found that capsaicin is safe. There's never been a concern about this before, but eventually spicier is gonna start to look scarier. But what if I told you it gets worse for our capsaicin case? In fact, what if I told you that eating hot peppers isn't the most dangerous way to come into contact with capsaicin? There's a way to become exposed that's a lot more common than something like the Apollo pepper. Like I said before, pharmacology is about all the ways a substance can interact with your body, and one entry point that we haven't talked about yet for capsaicin is in the air. Why in the heck would you ever be breathing capsaicin? Like, how often are you seeing chili peppers aerosolized around you? The answer is all the time. You ever hear of pepper spray?
With base 44, a simple sentence
Nah,
becomes
I ain't gonna lie. I heard pepper
Your
spray can
weapon.
kill you.
Of course you have. You might even carry some on you when you walk your dog at night. But you ever think about what exactly it is that you're carrying? It's called pepper spray for a reason, which is that it's full of the active ingredient in peppers, capsaicin. But we all consider pepper spray to be reasonably safe, right? Just a quick spritz and run, designed to delay an attacker by irritating their eyes, making them water just long enough for you to get away. It's the same reason why they say to never touch your eyes while you're eating spicy peppers. You're essentially pepper spraying yourself. But while it's certainly designed to be a quick spritz and run, there are cases where subjects may be inhaling too much of this stuff. They're getting a
Yo,
full
y'all
hit of
wanna know
caps-
what's crazy? They really have drills in the army where they literally train you to like be able to handle like pepper spray, bro. And I mean, you literally get to like keep your eyes open and everything for as long as you can, and then you get used to it. So I'm basically thinking like when you go to war and shit and somebody pepper spray you, like you not gonna go down that easy. Like you just gonna keep fighting.
capsaicin not just to their
That's some
eyes, but
superhuman
also
shit, if you
to
ask
their
me.
lungs. Unfortunately, capsaicin does the exact same thing to the inside of the lungs as it does to the eyes, where it causes immediate irritation, difficulty breathing, and can lead to patients going into cardiac arrest or having long-term symptoms like asthma. The danger of pepper spray has actually been a low-burning debate for decades now, with OSHA stating as far back as 1996 that police shouldn't have to undergo a pepper spray treatment because of the inherent health risks involved. In 2004, the Department of Justice released reports that 63 deaths in custody resulted after after the use of pepper spray. Another study from Duke and UNC medical centers questioned the use of pepper spray by the police because there have been so many injuries and health-related side effects, including a death in North Carolina of a person in police custody. All of these studies were released well before the sit-ins of the last several years, where there have been news stories all over the place about peaceful protesters being pepper sprayed. Not just getting glancing contact with the stuff either, getting doused and sitting in clouds of it without anyone, themselves or the officers that are spraying them, recognizing that this could present huge health problems. There are even stories about children as young as 9 being sprayed. And as we talked about from
Why are
eating
y'all
peppers
doing-
earlier, children can
Oh,
metabolize
I
or
remember. I
process
seen that
capsaicin
video.
as well as adults can. Of course, pepper spray is never designed to kill or seriously injure anyone, but like extremely hot peppers that we're creating and then eating for the lulz, we just aren't aware that we should be worried about pepper spray that's aerosolized and then being breathed into our lungs. At the end of the day, the lesson is the same whether you're talking about eating super hot peppers or avoiding high doses of pepper spray. It's all about how you're coming into contact with capsaicin and how much you're getting. Historically, the way we've intended to use it is fine. Adding heat to food, a little spicy food challenge every once in a while, mild pain relief on your skin, in a pinch, a quick self-defense tool. It's when we take it to the extreme, creating unbelievably concentrated versions of these capsaicin products, or using them in extreme doses, that they start to lean into the more dangerous side. At the end of the day, can spicy food, capsaicin, kill you? Actually, yes, it's entirely possible. But you gotta admit, was not the
You
outcome
should've
I
been
expected
said
to
that,
get
bro.
at the end of this episode. But should it kill you? Absolutely not. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to try and enjoy a huge range of spicy food, as long as that range stays in the edible instead of the insane. But just in case, start slow. If you're gonna be doing a hot pepper challenge or trying to take on the Apollo or Pepper X, just start with a dab. You know, just to make sure that that dab isn't your last. But hey, you know how they say not to drink water to cool off your mouth when you're eating spicy food? Well, that is 100% true. But prepare to throw that advice out the window, because when you're drinking water from your Air Up bottle, our sponsor for today's episode, that is all you're ever gonna want to drink. Now, I've told you about Air Up before. It's the product that I loved so much that I reached out to them so we could partner on a bunch of videos. But what was it that got me so hyped about a water bottle, you ask? Well, you see, Air Up is great because it's scent-flavored water. The Air Up bottle uses science to give you what seems to be flavored water, when in actuality it's just tricking your brain into thinking it's flavored. It's taking advantage of what's called retronasal olfaction. Basically, the fact that our sense of taste is so closely tied to our sense of smell. What's so great about that? Well, it means that you're getting all the benefits of flavored water without any of the downsides. No added sugars, no artificial flavors or coloring, no extra calories. You are literally just drinking plain water, and the bottle is tricking your brain into thinking that it's getting all the delicious flavor that usually comes with those additives and sugars. Just pop on a flavor pod and suddenly you're drinking lime-flavored water. Want to try something different like watermelon? Just swap the pod. Oh wow. This is my first time trying watermelon. Wow. Tired of flavor altogether? Just push the pod down so the scent and flavor go away. The illusion disappears and suddenly you're just drinking water again. And thanks to Air Up.
Should we invest in that? First of all, this video not even sponsored. Let me skip this shit, bro. Or I think that's the end of the video. I ain't even gonna lie. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me go to the end. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed that, you know what I'm saying? I know I did a little bit. I actually learned a little something new. I won't be eating as much spicy food as I think. Actually, I'm keeping being. I don't even remember when the last time I had spicy food for real. I'm not even gonna hold you. But I will say this, bro. I'm definitely not eating something not spicy no more now, bro. That shit crazy. And then, I feel like what I also got from this video is spicy food make you stupid because it fuck with your brain cells. That's basically what this nigga just said, bro. So I ain't gonna lie. It's the end of the video. We out. We bipping. I'll catch y'all later.